Harlem has long been a cultural mecca, a place where black artists settled in the early 20th century and created an engine of artistic expression. The Addison Gallery of American Art explores that history from the artists who documented it to the artists who define it today.
Drop me off in Harlem, any place in Harlem. There's someone waiting there who makes it seem like heaven up in Harlem.
The 19-teens saw the start of the Great Migration, when millions of African Americans moved from the South, many to the North and to Harlem, which became an oasis from oppression, especially for artists.
The art was important then in creating a new visual lexicon for African Americans against histories of dehumanizing and degrading stereotypes and imagery in the American popular imagination.
At the Addison Gallery of American Art, we find nearly 100 years of life in Harlem, mostly in photographs from the museum's collection. The show takes us from the 1930s, just after the Harlem Renaissance, to today.
I see vibrance. I see a people who have been through so much and were given so little and have made this out of it, this miraculous, this place. A lot of people describe Harlem as a cultural mecca. This is where a lot of the socializing happened, was out on street corners or in front of shops.
Stephanie Sparling Williams is the exhibition's curator. The Harlem of the 1930s, she says, was a place reeling from the Great Depression. And here in the work of both black and white photographers, it is a place of both fortune and despair.
You see a tension between Harlem's working class, the unemployed, and then also Harlem's upper and middle class citizens, stuck within Harlem, but all trying to pick up the pieces.
As difficult as the times may have been, a number of black artists featured here, like photographer Roy de Carava, focused on more than misfortune. This work is titled Graduation Day. What do you see there?
Oh, man. I see celebration. I do. I see a beautiful woman in a dress that has taken to the streets. You know, maybe she's in transition. And you see a print on the back. I think it's a playbill, and it says, in Spanish, the woman emerges out of darkness.
We've been asking ourselves this question, what is America? A question that is both an eternal question and a timely question.
Judith Dolkart is the Addison's director. By the 1960s, Harlem became a hotbed of protest in America, thanks in no small part, she says, to its community of artists.
I always see artists as active agents in the culture, so artists have the ability to change the culture as much as anyone else. They have a point of view, and they are putting a point of view out there.
In the 1960s, 70s, and 80s, Harlem's streets were host to civil rights marches and later Black Power rallies. It brought an energy that Stephanie Sparling Williams says courses through these photographs.
I describe it as a buzz, the sound when you get off the subway of just people in the streets. And I think that's captured throughout the exhibition, not only the built environment and people, but how both come together to create the social life of Harlem, the lifeblood of the neighborhood itself.
Today, Harlem offers a different story. Gentrification has taken hold. Its way of life is changing as it always has. But now, so are its people.
It comes into sharp focus through Dawood Bey's series Harlem Redux, which he shot in 2016, when we see the development, the construction, we see the different ways in which space is being claimed by other bodies, particularly white bodies.
The show's parting shot, though, is an epic one by Kehinde Wiley, who created this instantly famous portrait of President Barack Obama. The subject, regal and wielding a sword on his equally mighty horse, was straight off 125th Street in Harlem.
It's carrying along this tradition of self-determined imagery, but also there's a tension, right? This tension between the art historical canon, this genre that African Americans would never find themselves in. The black body was never portrayed in these heroic paintings that depicted valor and masculinity and virility often. But Wiley shows us that the black figure is no less powerful, no less masculine.
Instead, there is glory in a neighborhood that has long fed it.